Dear participants, sorry for the delay. Our session will start soon.
Dear participants, sorry for the delay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the topic Introduction of Command Line and GIT. I am Jacob. I am delighted to be your moderator for this session. Our speaker for this today's section is Chaitanya Elise. She is a third year EC student at NSSC Palakkad. She is an innovation coordinator of IIC NSCC Palakkad, webmaster of IEEE NSSC. Now let's begin our session. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jacob, and also I guess Adra, right? Yeah. So, what are you like comfortable with, English or Malayalam? Should I speak in Malayalam to communicate better, or should I go with English? If there is anyone who cannot understand Malayalam, I'll proceed in English. Or I guess it's like better to communicate in Malayalam so that there's a better connection between us, right? You can say it in the chat box or unmute. Anything is fine. Actually, I'm having a throat problem, so I don't think so. I'll be taking for a long time, but I'll just like I will take till 8. So yeah, it's basically a fun session. I think I'll proceed with English because Jacob had mentioned that there were some non-Malayalis in this group. Am I right? Okay, okay. Okay. So I'll proceed with English. If there is any changes in that, you can just say in the chat box. So I want this to be an interactive session because most of the things I hope you are new to it. So in order for you to understand, if you have any doubts, you can ask now itself. Okay. And one thing, basically before I start, all these things are available in the internet. Like once I mention this, it's up to you guys to explore what are the like further things about it, because I cannot cover everything around it in, I guess, 50 minutes, I guess. So the session is about introduction to command line and Git and GitHub. So I actually mentioned to like the session is about Git and GitHub. Command line will I'll cover it on the way as I explain what is Git and GitHub. Like command line is required as an essential to know what is Git, while using it. Okay, so I want some of you guys to respond to me for this question. Okay. So have any one of you guys worked in any projects? Like how many CS students are there in this group? We'll just make it quick. How many CS students are there in this group? Okay, okay. There are a couple of students. Okay. So have you worked in any projects, like made any website, made any like with Python? Have you made any games or any bots? If there is no, you can say no or just type. Okay, okay, cool. So, Alex, not like specifying to you, Alex, but commonly. So, how do you work with these projects? Like, um, there comes the case of why, like, the functionality of Git. Why do we use Git? Git, in simple terms, if we say, it is to record the activities of our project. Okay, like what all we have done in our project while doing any project. We can take any project like in any language you take. We use Git in order to track what all we do in that project. Okay, like if, for example, if I say I am making a website, or if I am taking it like anything. So I'm taking an example as a website. Okay, So I'm creating a website. In that website, basically a simple static website consists of a index page, index HTML page, a CSS page with some assets like photos or some videos or something like that. Okay. So first I created an index.html page. Then I created a small bar, a small like the upper bar called as nav bar. So I just created some components and I thought like, okay, I'll just save this. I today I committed or today or this time I created till this much of this project. Okay. And I want to save this. And as I work on, I want to save my progress of this project so that at last if I lose any of the part of this, I have already recorded the past, right? What all I have committed from the very first day. So I'll have a track of it, and if I lose any part of it, I'll have the rest of the things. Okay, in order to continue or save the project. So this is the main use of Git in order to track our progress. It is also helpful if we want to switch back. In the case of website or any bot, if we take, we made some changes. Okay, see, yesterday we created till a particular part. Today I wrote some extra code. Okay, and I committed it, and like I saved it. So some unexpected changes and some errors came. So I wanted to switch back and make some more changes so that it is compatible. Or I want to switch back to some previous versions, okay, or the previous saved versions. So I can do that also with Git. Okay, so it's basically like making, for example, I always used to say this example. Okay, in like before, like in olden days, I don't know if it's best now, but there were some old games where we used to like the character just used to run in that game, and if he reaches a checkpoint, that life will be saved. Or like till then, from that checkpoint to the next checkpoint, if he loses any life, he'll go back to that checkpoint. So it's kind of similar to that. Okay, if you lose any progress or if you want to go back, these checkpoints will help us. So these checkpoints are called as commits. Okay, commits are basically the changes that you make in a project. Okay, simple as that. If so, I'll just basically say some concepts, and I have made some figures to explain you guys. So, so I hope it you can understand better with it. I'll just share my screen. When my screen is visible, you can just notify me about that.
Yeah, the screen
Jacob,
is
is my screen visible?
the
Yeah.
screen
Okay.
is
Fine.
full.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Yeah. So just forget about this. Okay. Okay, so just look at this. Okay, so first we write some code. Okay, this is a command what we used to do what to perform this thing. Okay, so next is to state the changes. Basically to save the changes what we have done. Okay, next what we do is committing the changes. Forget about this part. I'll explain it later. Okay, but basically this is the main part. What I said till now, what are the changes that be done. Okay, for example, if I am explaining with a much more simple thing such as creating a game. Okay, in that game first I've created a background, imagine. Okay, so I've put some effort and created the background with some gradient, added a border. Okay, and added some effects into it, add some grass. Okay, all these things collectively or just individually, once I added a grass, I just committed it. Okay, I just added the change by using the command so and so. That the command section will go on in a few minutes. Okay. So I've just staged the changes. Okay. Next, in order to save the changes, I have to mention with a message. I have to commit the changes, like create a checkpoint. I have saved the changes. Now I have to create the checkpoint. Like, okay, this is a commit. So in order to make a commit, you have to like mention with a message. If I have in the game, if you're taking the scenario of a game, I have added a border. So the message will be add border or add background or whatever the change. What is the change? We are writing it as a message while committing it. Okay. So I think I'll just go on to the other figures later. Okay, so this is a terminal. Okay, so my system is actually a Linux OS. So you'll find a terminal like this. Or for other users, if it's Windows, you can like download the Git. Just search Git. Okay, download for Windows. Okay, you just find the setup, you can download it. Okay, otherwise it will be like actually it's installed by default for Linux and Mac OS. Otherwise, you can like search it for other OS also. Okay, I just install Git. See, so therefore Linux, Mac OS, and others also. Okay, so yeah, so I'm taking my terminal. Okay, so in here, so I said, right, I'll just include some of the commands, some of the introduction to command, the command lines. I'll just include some of them which are necessary. Others, you can actually, like most of the commands, as I said in the beginning, all these commands are actually available online. So actually, you can refer those. See, so it's like more how you remember it. So see, when I just use this, okay. So how I remember these commands are only by the means of like how many times I use it. Okay. So the use of using like what is the advantage of using a command line over physically going to a folder? See, creating a folder is that due to its like easiness and the speed. Okay. So it's a bit hectic or a bit like you will feel a bit difficulty while remembering this command. Okay, so mkdir is to create a folder. So you can just manually go and create a folder like this. But this can make it more easier. This is more easy. Okay, so it's just the thing that you have to remember these commands, which will be done like if you use it more often, you'll just remember it. Okay. So if I just first I'll create a folder. So this is like MK means it's actually literally it just says a meaning. MKDIR means make a directory. Okay. Directory means folders. Same logic. Okay. In here we use it as directory. So make directory. We're saying it as our py game. Okay. And in order to get inside the directory, we use cd, that is to change the directory. Okay, changing our current directory. We are currently in the Pop! OS system in my user, and we want to log into the PyGames. One second. Oh, I'm sorry about this. As I said, I'm having a bad throat day today, so I'm facing some difficulty about that. Okay, so yeah, in order to log in order to get inside the folder to like perform functions, like in order to use Git, like in order to get inside this, you have to use cd. What is our folder name? Hiking. Okay. So cd is to change the directory. If you can refer this, I guess it is there in this. Yeah, cd. In order to navigate with the Linux files. Okay. You can refer the other commands, what are presently like useful for us right now in order to like learn or to know more about Git and GitHub. We can go through those Linux commands right now. Okay. So for Windows users, you can, while installing Git in your Windows system, you'll actually download a Git bash, which is also a like Linux-based terminal. Okay, in that you can perform the same commands. Okay, for the PowerShell and all those are a different sets of commands. So you can use the Git bash. Okay, so, okay, we entered into this. Now we can create a file. Okay, so I'm just creating main.py. Such command is to create a file. Okay, now this. So we just created a folder called pygame. Okay, in that we created a file called main.py. So if I want to list the number of files or whatever is present in this Py game, I can just put ls. So you can see what all are there in this. That is to list the files in it. We use ls. So basically, you don't need to memorize all these. You can just refer each time, and then eventually you will just like automatically remember these commands. Okay. Now, how do you initialize a Git? How do you start using Git in your project? Okay, so once you want to start, you should start using Git from the beginning of the project. Okay, so I have just created a file, or just before that, before I start coding, you can just the first thing that you have to do is use Git init. Okay, I'll just minimize a little bit. Okay, I hope it's visible right now. Okay, so it says initialized empty Git repository. Okay, so repository means project. Okay, so just it's a similar word for that. In Git, we use what is called as a project or the main folder. In here, we use directories. In Linux, we use it as directories, what we saw earlier. But for our folders or the project, it is called as repository. So we initialize an empty repository because there is nothing in it. Okay. Now the Git starts tracking what we are doing. Okay. Now I am like I want to add one more file into this. Okay. We are adding. 1 second. We have one file, right? Now after adding, we added one file main.py. Now if I want to, now our next step is to stage the changes what we have done. So git add dot. Okay, okay. Before that, there are two commands where we can check what we are doing. Git status. See, git status shows that what should be done next. So it says us no commits yet because we haven't committed yet anything. Changes to be committed is one file because we have. See, I'll just show you an example. Okay, if I just add one more file called as game.py. Okay, okay, and I use the git status. So it shows as red as untracked file. That is git haven't like start tracking or like git haven't saved these changes. Okay. So in order to change that, in order to save, we use git add. We use either the file name. Okay. Either the game.py or most of the cases we use dot or it's called as period, so it is called as git add period. Okay, space period, there should be space in between. So all the files inside the pygame will be saved, and if we check git status, you will get it as okay. Now these are to be committed. Now I'm using git commit is to like create checkpoints. Okay, so git commit minus m, always we have to add a message, otherwise it won't be committed. So actually it's very useful because what changes we have saved, it's necessary to be known, right? Once we look into the project, we have to know like what are these changes, what we have done in this. So there is a procedure to write commits. It's like you are saying the other person to do something. Okay. So like what changes you have done, you're saying the other person to do that. So if I'm saying that add gamepy and mainpy. Okay. So you're saying the other person to add. So in that format you have to write a commit. Okay. So I'm writing add gamepy, gamepy and mainpy. Okay. Normally commits should be a bit short, but this is okay for the time being. Okay. So I have committed the changes. If I look with status, see, I hope it's visible, the down part. I hope it's visible, right? Jacob, the screen is like still down.
Yes. Ye-
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay. So now if you see, like it said, there are no like changes to be tracked. Like everything is being, changes are being tracked and they are also committed. Okay. Now next, you can also check the git log. Okay, so the commit ID will be given. With this commit ID, we can like go back in time. Like as I said before, we can go back to which commit we want to go before. As I said before, like If I want to switch back to the commit that I done the previous day, I have to start. I want to start working from that day. I want to remove the other commits, or like there are some errors in that. So if I want to switch back, you can use this command, this commit ID. Okay. So what we can do is next what we can do is now all these changes are done in our master branch. Okay, so what is master branch? I'll show you. So yeah, this is the thing. I hope this figure is visible. So what we are actually doing, by default, there is a branch. Okay, by default, there is a workflow that we are following. That is called as a master branch or the main branch. Now it is being changed to a main branch. You can search why. There is like a very silly, not a silly reason, but there is not very technical reason why they changed it to main. Okay, so you can search that out. So currently it is called as not the master branch but the main branch, but it's not like given, it's not like changed everywhere, but we normally say it as main branch or our default branch. So this is our current workflow. Okay, what all commits we make, it goes like this. Okay, so what are these? These are the branches that we make out of our default branch or our main branch. Okay, so why do we add these branches? One thing is to like experiment things. We don't want to disturb our current project. Okay, we want to try out something new for this project, which may or may not go right. It may go wrong, it may go right or wrong. It can affect the project if it goes wrong. So we want to create, so if we are making a branch from the second commit, okay, so the exact copy will be made and you can work on the exact thing. Okay, and if later on you think this change is like good, you want to merge it or you want to add this to our default, you can merge it. Okay, I hope this is understood. Okay, this concept is understood. Mostly in the beginning, you won't work with these branches, but it's one of the important things that you can like know about. Okay, so if I just type git branch, it's given master. Okay, so by default we have to change it to main. That's what git says. You have to use not use master. You have to use main as the default branch. So you can change that by git branch minus m and main. Okay, so now if you search git branch, you see it as main. So our default branch should be named as main. Okay, so we change it to main. Now what is now we can switch it to a different branch. Okay, so how we can switch? We can use git checkout minus b. Minus b is to create a branch. Checkout is to switch to that branch. Okay, these are just commits which, as I said before, you don't need to memorize all these. Okay, you will learn as you go on using it. Okay, so git checkout minus b, we want to give it as new feature. Okay, you are going to add a new feature but you are not sure if it will work, so you are just creating a new branch and checking it out. And now if I check git branch, you're in the new feature. Okay, now I do ls, you'll find the same files in this. Okay, so I'm not going more deep into it because we have some more important stuff to cover right now, but this is the basic thing. And if we want to switch back, we can just check out to the branch that you want to move to. Okay, so git checkout. If you don't want to create the branch, you can just git checkout main. Okay, now if you see, we are in the main branch. Okay, so these are the things like the main. Mostly you will be working in all these. Okay, branches are also the extra things that mostly in the beginner level you won't be working with the branches stuff, but git add, git commit is one of the important things. Mostly you'll be working with this. And the next step, what the next important thing is, you should also be knowing about GitHub. Okay, so before going to that, let me say what is like basic some theory about Git. What is Git? Git is actually a software. Okay, it's actually a software which is used to track our progress, track our changes, what all we are doing all those stuff. Okay, Git is used to track our projects as we saw right now. We initialized our Git. We initialized our project with Git. Then we used the Git add command to stage the changes. Then we committed the changes. Then we created branches with that. Okay, now if we search on to GitHub, okay, let me go to a private window because it will already log into my account. That's right. Okay. So this is actually a GitHub website. This is GitHub. GitHub is actually a website which is owned by Microsoft. Okay, Git is a software which is an open source software, which means it is the code is available to everyone. Every like it's an open software. Okay, but this is owned by Microsoft, which is built over the Git software. Okay, and this is used to what track it has taken all the functionalities of Git, okay, into this, and we can track all these changes and we can upload the project to online. Okay, so that if you want to collaborate a project with me, you can upload this project to GitHub and you can add me, and whenever you make a changes, you can like add these changes, commit the changes, and you can push to GitHub. Okay, and thus if I just open your project, and if I want to collaborate, I can see the project and I can pull the code outside, okay, from the website. I can download the code into my system. So that's how we can collaborate. So GitHub is actually to collaborate, to explore new projects, okay, others projects, what like is also to track. Git is used to track that, and we can upload all these tracks, what all we have done, into this website. And also it is used to collaborate and explore new projects. Those are some of the extra features that are there in the GitHub. So with sign up, you can just create an account. So I'm not going to show that right now. I'll just log into my account right now, and this is how you'll see your account. Okay. So if I go into the repositories section, you'll see your projects like this and all stuff. You can explore by yourself. So I'll just go into the main stuff. By creating the new button, as you saw before, new button, you can create a repository. Repository, as I said before, it's a the project. Okay. So here I'm saying my game. Okay. And it is public or private depends upon you. If you want to share your project with others, you can put it as public. Private, it has limitations, no one can see it, thus they can't like collaborate with your project. There are limitations to it. Okay, you can add those persons into the project, but they can't voluntarily come and see because they can't see your project. Okay, so there are some things you can explore. License, git ignore, that is out of the scope of our session right now because we have very less time. Okay, so we have to we created the repository. Okay, so as I said, our system is having the code. Okay, my local system is having the code right now, and I want to upload this code to GitHub. So what do? I create a remote link. Okay, remote, as you know, it's actually the online stuff. So if I want to upload this code to GitHub, I have to have a remote link, right? To where should I upload this code? I cannot just like write upload it to GitHub. Like we need a link. So that this is that link. Okay, this is our link. We copy it. So if you see here, most of the commands are here. And see, as I said, git init. These are like commands to help us, but I'll go through each of the command. So this is the command that I'm talking about. Okay, we add a remote link. This is our remote link. Git remote add origin and our link. Okay, so git remote means we are adding a remote link. Add. Origin is the name of our remote link. Okay, and thus we add it. So if I just search git remote, we get a remote link. Okay, and now if I want to push, we use the term push in order to upload our code to the GitHub. GitHub in the GitHub website we as we created a repository here in order to upload it to this particular space. Okay, so the command we use is git push origin main. Origin stands for the what is the location. Okay, the remote link. Main is from which branch you want to push. Okay, if it's a feature branch, if you want to push from the new feature branch, you can use that. Okay, okay, so it's done enumerating the objects and all those things. So it says our main branch to the GitHub's main branch. Okay, okay, I hope it's clear right now. Any doubts till now?
Yeah. No, no.
Anyone? Any doubts? Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So we have a little more stuff to do. If I refresh, you can see the two files we had created before. We have uploaded it. Okay. So as I said, um, in order to collaborate, GitHub is used to collaborate and all the stuff. So okay, before saying that, I'll show you about the branch. Okay, so we if we see here, this is our main branch. And if I want to create a new branch, and I'm saying I'm creating a new branch. Okay, create new branch. Okay, so this is our new branch. New branch. Okay, the branch name is new. And if I want to add a file, okay, okay, adding a file. We are adding it as new file, but whatever. Okay, and we are writing here. The interface is a bit more like easy, by the way. So here we no need to like stage the changes and all those stuff. That is a CLI process which we done, like the command lines, which is a bit more easier to do because here there are more things to navigate and all. So which is easier for you, you can do. But as we progress, the command line is more like easy or like it is more like useful in our later projects. Okay. So here we can, there is a remote, there is a default commit message like create new. You can use that also. So I'm just using that right now. Okay. So here it says like one commit ahead of main. That means in this figure we can look. In this message, in this figure, this is our main branch and this is our new branch. So we have made a commit. Okay. So this is our first commit and next commit we have made a commit. And it says and we are one commit ahead of me. So it asks, do you want to push this, merge this change to our main branch? Okay. So in here, in order to merge our changes, we use the merge commit, merge the word, the merge concept. Okay. As I said here, I want to add these changes to the main. So here we are saying we have to create a pull request. In GitHub, we have to create a pull request in order to ask requesting to merge it to the main branch. Okay, so I'm just adding and okay. So I'll give you a bit context why it goes like this. Probably it might confuse you. If it confuses you, you can ask me. Okay. So why all these process? For example, if I say you're working in a company and your company is having a lot of like multiple softwares. So you're working in one of the software. Okay. So that software will be obviously in the main branch and they obviously won't allow you to work in the main branch. Okay. So you have to create a new a sub branch. Okay. Or you have to create a new branch from the main branch and you have to start working in that. And once you are done with the change, they said to make a particular change or made a or ask you to make a particular feature or they ask you to do something with the project and you're done and you're perfect with the code and now you want to add the code to the main branch. So how you do it? You cannot like literally like send a like text message in WhatsApp or any social media like I have done this change and all. You have to create a pull request. Okay, you have to ask a request to them with your merge request, in order to merge it to the main branch. So here we say what change we have done, explaining what changes we have done in a more descriptive way, and we are putting a pull request. Now, as it's the same project, I am like sitting both in the in the branch, in the main branch, and in the new branch. So I can like merge it myself. But mostly, if we are working on a company, more like in that perspective, we won't be having access to the main branch, okay, or the default branch. So you cannot view this, okay. So as I am sitting on both of the sides, the same person, so I can like merge the pull request. Okay, I hope I didn't like create a confusion in there. I hope it's clear. Okay, okay. I hope your silence mean like you understood everything and you want to listen more. Okay, so next one more concept is there. If I want to collaborate with others, okay, so there is a button called as fork. Okay, fork your own project, not necessary, but this button is used to fork our own fork other projects. Okay, so it shows like we can be in other organizations. So it says like my project is being forked to another organization. It's not needed right now. If I want to fork another project, okay, if you just think this is an another other's project, another person's project, and if I want to work on this, or if you guys want to work on this, you can take this with login by login into your account. You can search for this project and you can click this button. So this will be forked or will be copied to your account. Okay, and this particular thing will be appeared. Okay, and now you can start working in that by creating a new branch and working on this and adding a pull request, and it will be sent to me. Okay, you can send it to me in order to like feature it into the main project. Okay, so there you can apply the pull request part. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Fork is used to copy an another's project to your account, and you can start working in that. Okay, that's how we collaborate and do. Now, next one more thing. Mostly, this is quite important thing. See, here it says like add README. So, what is this README? README is actually the phase of the project where we say what the project is about. Okay, so it is actually written on MD, which means markup language. You can like it's a very simple language similar to HTML. Okay, so if I search Markdown language, Markdown language syntax. Okay, okay, you can get immediately. Okay, so there is syntax for it also. You can like start like using it. Okay, similar to HTML. So if I want to add a heading, like heading one, which will be bigger, heading one. I view here, it's heading one. And if I want to add a heading two, like basically what we are doing is we are describing about the project. Okay, what the project is about. And if I'm saying this is a sample project explaining like how to use Git by using a project called as Pygame. So I can use this. Okay, so other syntax which are needed for this are given in here, like adding a line break by using what dr, which is similar to HTML if you know HTML. Okay, so yeah, that's how you can like use a README file, which is very important. Okay, there should always be a README file in a project to explain what you're doing with the. Okay, I think I'll just make this again. Okay, and I'm using the default mess commit message. Okay, so it appear like this. Okay, so that's how it is. It will be done in here. Okay, so there are more things to explore in this, but I think for a basic session like this, I think these are more than enough to say. And rest is up to you guys to explore. And if you need any help, you can just um, ask me out right now, or you can ask me later. Okay. If you have any doubts right now, I hope you all are beginners. I hope it didn't like bore you guys. Like these are like very basic things. There are a lot of else things to like cover in this, but These are like very sufficient for a beginner right now. Okay, so I'll just wind up by showing one project. I guess I have like, okay, I'll just show one project. This is like really good. Okay, see, so these are the files that they have committed. Okay, they have pushed into their what their repository in GitHub. So these are the commit messages. So it just shows their last commit was to migrate white bit, okay, to this particular thing. Then they have added a about, then their link and all those statistics, their contributors, okay, then what languages they have used, and this is a README file. So if you see all these files, you won't get an idea what this project is about. So if you see the README file, you'll get a brief idea what the project is about. Okay, so you'll get a description how to use it, all these photos, videos, all the links, the code, and all you can add in a README file. That's what I said. It is very useful in getting an overview of the project. Okay, and now if you see there shows two branches. Master branch is there and OpenShift. Okay. See, master branch can be used, but Git prefers used to use main branch. Okay. Then you have, okay, you can see the commits. 340 commits are there. Okay. It's done by multiple persons. And you can see the code for that. Okay. To switch it to the particular code. Okay. So there are a lot of commits in that. So thus the project is recorded. If it's even lost, you can regain the access. Like once it's online. If you lose it from the local system, that is from your machine or from your laptop or whatever system that you use, it's already there in GitHub, right? So you already have a copy about of it, and what all you have done from day one, what all changes you have done, it's been recorded. Okay, and yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I want to share right now as a beginner session to GitHub and command line. Command line I haven't mentioned that much, but you can refer these commands right now. I just want to like you can like search, but basically, okay, this sudo command is also very useful. Sudo command is used mostly to gain a superior access, or if I say, if most of the, I guess I hope most of the users are Windows users, so you'll be having an admin user. Like once you log in, you'll be having an admin user and I guess get a guest user. Okay, so most of the access are on the hands of the admin user. Similar cases with Linux. Okay, I'm explaining about the Linux system in here, and most of the other commands if you use similar goes to that. Okay, so sudo access is to get a superior access or the most admin level access. In order, this command is mostly used to like make changes, used to download packages and etc. stuff. Okay, then pwd, it's used to track where you are right now. If I want to show this right now, use pwd. See, as I said, I'm in home and in my user. Okay. If I go to CD game and if I do PWD, okay, you'll get the location where you are. Okay. And next is the CD command we used before right now to log in to like get inside. Okay. Then ls is to list. Okay. Then CP is to copy. I think you can explore. Copy contents of one file to another file. Then you have move. That is move. Basically, you can just explore that. Okay. Basically, some cut and paste, cut, copy, paste things. Then make directory, remove directory stuff is there. Then remove. Okay, that's what I said. Okay. Then other some functionalities to find. That I guess for the basic level, I guess this much is enough. Okay. So yeah, that's it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me right now. Any doubts? I hope everyone got an idea of Git and GitHub. and a basic understanding of command line, because obviously you'll get a familiarization once you start using it. Because all these are like commands and they can become very easy or very convenient once you start using it. So it's like once you get started, you have to get a basic idea what it is. So I hope I was able to convey that. Yeah. Okay. So Jacob, I guess if anyone have any doubt, they can ask here, or we can like wind up. Right. Okay.
Since there is no queries, we can wind up our session.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Attention participants, now I am sharing our feedback form in our chat box. You can share your valuable feedback in the feedback form. Along with the feedback form, I am also sharing our WhatsApp group link and website link in the chat box. You can join in our WhatsApp group.
For more sessions today at GIT Foundation. I'm looking forward to meeting more of you. Friends.
I would like to take a moment to thank our speaker Chaitanya Lis for sharing her knowledge and expertise with us today. We appreciate the time and effort she put in preparing for this webinar. Thank you all other participants join us today. I hope you found this webinar insightful and informative. This is the time to end our session. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to see you at our next sessions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you all. Yeah.
All the participants can leave now.
Okay. I hope I can leave right now. Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am, you can leave right
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.